Okay, so somebody asked me for a script, and I'm going to give you the simplest script in the world. I'm going to risk 25 pips to make 75 pips. And I'm going to post these scripts separately, and I've named them. This is the script that is going to risk 25 pips to make 75 pips. Let's take a look inside here. Now, this is the name up here. So when you see this double / in front, that means that the MT4 platform is not going to even see anything that's written there. So this is my notation. This is the title of the script. And I have a buy script, and I have this sell script. So you have to paste these separately. I think I'll post them as one piece, so as you see them, this is going to separate them. You will not be able to compile this whole thing. I don't know if you've ever installed the script, but you can just go open up anything that's in here. If there isn't a script in here, then I guess you would just go to inside the editor here, assuming you know how to get to this. I guess I'm assuming a lot. But anyways, the MetaEditor, you should be able to find that inside the platform. And you would open that up, and you'd go new, and you would say script, and you'd go here, and you just call it, doesn't matter, just call it S. So here's your new script, and then you're going to hold down the control key, hit the A key, delete everything. So you delete everything off that, and then you can compile that, and it's going to say one error warning. But that's what happens if you try to compile something that really there's nothing there. So if you go over to the script that I posted, and you hit Control A, or hold down Control, hit A. Then, while you're holding down that Control, hit C. Now, come over to the non-existent script and hit Control V as in Victor. There you go. Now, you compile that, and you can call it whatever you want. So come back here to File, Save As, and you can call it, well, what I called it was this drop pending. But since I already have one like that, I'm going to actually put the / in there. Copy that. And let's see, File, Save As. And I can just paste it here. Save. Oh, can't put the / in. Forgot about that trick. So I'll just put a space there, and I'll just put number 1. Just because I've already got that one. So I would just hit compile, and there you go. It should come up over here as the renamed one. So you can call it whatever you want. I'm just calling it this because I denoted the first number here is the stop, and the second's take profit, because that's typically the syntax, or the way the order in which they listed here is your stop and your take profit. Now you can change these to anything you want, and you can also change. I put D1 on here because it means to MetaTrader, that means 1 day. If you go down into the meat of it here, you'll see go down about I guess line 23, and you can change this to H1, so it lasts an hour. You can change that to, now if you put in the letter H when that's highlighted, capital H, it's going to look for a capital there. As soon as you do that, you'll see these two choices come up. But that's not really true. You can actually put H2, H3, H8, H6, and H12. They're not saying that because, see, watch, if I put a H2 in there, which means 2 hours, and I compile this, there's no errors. Because this will run in, this program, this drop would run in, I think it'll run inside of MQ5, MetaTrader 5, because that's actually MetaTrader 5 timeframes. But I'm going to put it back to D1, or you could put W1, which is a week. So if I try to put a week in, it's going to say period. So I'm going to put it back to day 1. So it's just D1. And I compile that. Now this is the cell. And so you can name it whatever you want here. This is totally independent of the actual name. Now, that's my trade plan there. There's the buys and sells. Of course, the market's not open now. We can't drop these. We also can't drop these inside a strategy tester, unfortunately. Now, that's pretty brutal because you could trade the whole weekend and test out your strategies. So what I did was I put up another thing here I'm going to post, and this is a 25 pip grid that the horizontal dotted lines in here are 25 pip grid. And it's under indicators. So you would do the same thing in an indicator. If you want to create an indicator, or just delete a current one and it posts this. So I have to post this separately. This is a 25 PIP handles, I call it. Now here, it's pretty simple. I named it here at the top again, 25 PIP handles, and it's just all this stuff. I don't want to touch it just because, I don't know. I'm actually only using the 25 here, this array, but it's not going to hurt. It still works if you compile it. There's no warnings or errors. Now this is going to basically, when you put this on the chart, you drag and drop that on the chart or you double click it, it's going to put in this grid. And the other grid, that's the vertical lines are a day. So what I've done here is I've taken a rectangle and created it, and this is what I'm using for my risk. If I'm going to risk 25 pips, it's going to look like this. I put a little bit extra in the spread, so I moved that down a little bit beyond. Now, looking for setups on here. When you see this congestion down here, I mean, this basically spent a whole day poking into this 25 pip window here. Now you could have been scalping in and out of that. Now the big money would be the you know, you're going to risk 25, so your buy limit or your buy stop. Now when you put these another thing is that these pending drops will automatically flip to become either a stop or a limit on your chart, depending whether you place this buy below or above. You could put anything you want here to show up in your comment window, so you'll be able to see if you dropped it above, it would be a buy stop. If you drop it below, it would be a buy limit, presupposing your broker lets you put them in really tight. For most brokers, 3 or 5 pips away. Some people want to get in, 10 pips away from current price. So it's not going to really matter. Of course, if you do that, you're going to risk 35 pips, because if you get in here on a stop, you know, you're always risking 25 pips, but you got to realize that you're getting in late. You know, if you're using this as your gauge of risk. So I'm using this line here to show me where am I going to get in. So now let's define a price zone. Obviously, this is a 75 pip top in here. So if you're going to sell that top, you would want to place your sell limits. Well, I like to get in on limits up in here. So you know this double top exists, and you've got your sell limit sitting here. Now say here's your sell limit, and it's going to get in here, and your stop is up here. So as it comes up into here, you've got your, now you're gonna get stopped out of that, obviously. So this is how you can calculate. Now, if that was your stop, I think it got stopped out of that. Now this is, I'm using a line chart because it's the only way to get a clean picture of the market, as far as I'm concerned. Now you would have got stopped out. See that wick? But now what if you would have placed your order even at the top of that price bar? What would that look like? You got a sell limit here with a 25 pip stop. You did not get stopped out of that. And when the market came down the next day, now this is a 1 day, if this lasts a day, that's what that pending looks like. And its take profit window is here. So that lasts all day. You got filled. And once you're filled, explain that. Once you're filled, you know, you're either going to get stopped out or you're going to wait for this thing to fill. You know, I guess you could say that the first time it got filled, if you placed it here, it got filled right there. And here was your take profit. Now, actually, when you choose a day in MetaTrader, it actually is 24 hours. It's not at the end of the day. So this window, this 25 pip window is marching along, or this 75 pip window is marching along into the future. So if you drop one here, now you drop another one here at the same price. Now you could have had a scalp in there, say you had a break-even order. So that would have looked like this is where you're getting in, and that's where you get, so you have you sold at a limit here, and you took 25 pips. And you did it again. That's why you want to scale out of these things, because your first would have been there, your first scale out, and here is your extended triple your money exit. Now looking for a setup on here, I'm thinking here was the buy. If you were looking at the window of double bottom here, you could just see a nice double bottom here. This would have been your entry on Friday to have a buy limit that gets filled here with a stop down there, and then you would turn on this to see if you got stopped out. You didn't get stopped out. Of course, I'm going a little bit beyond 25 pips to put a spread in there. In the script, there is a little bit. If I tighten this down to 25, you need to get your orders right at that edge. So you're really buying the very edge of the market. And well, they say you need a trading edge, right? Well, that's the edge. So you're going to be here, or you put 35. You build a 35 pip. Now you can just change the name of that thing, or you could also drag it after you drop it. The only reason I don't want to do that is because then I'm breaking my trade plan. I don't know. I guess it's more complicated to explain than I thought. But just looking for dumb setups like this, where you have this. Now, if you turn this on, to me, it's just too much. And if you turn that on, it's just too much. I just want a nice clean entry.